What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Slate D Biggs. Today we're going to be going over chapter 650 of Kingdom. Sorry for the delay on this. I'd actually recorded a live reaction, and that's kind of lowbrow anyway. Not really putting much work into that. To be fair, you're not putting much work into chapter reviews, but I feel like condensing it and just going over the chapter is a lot better than watching me go, wow, look how many people Mobu killed, wow. So without any further ado, let's get into this chapter. A majority of this chapter we see from the perspective of the leaders of Juko City. We start off with a messenger relaying that Mobu is headed directly for Juko City, so they think, because he keeps on passing up all these other cities. And he's only got 30,000 men in tow. Now, to me, 30,000 men sounds like a lot of people, you know. That would fuck me up. Like, 2 people would fuck me up. But for a whole city that's touted as like one of the best strategic locations to own in the whole area, it's probably got some good defenses. It's on some Gyo level shit. Now we're gonna need some kind of Gyo level tactic, I think, to take this city down. Unless the leaders of the city are all lured out and killed. That would make it a little harder to defend the city. I mean, I know they got other people that could step up and throw people off walls, but apparently these guys are tough shit. So first, we have General Monu, who is the Lord of Juko, and then Sinto-un, who I definitely thought was a chick, but it's made very obvious, dude. Kingdom likes to do that. Very progressive. So at first, you get the impression that they're falling over scared, like, oh my god, someone's attacking us, but I knew better, you can't trick me, Hara. They're excited, to say the least. I mean, to say the least. The other leaders of Juko City are pretty chill, and so they need to be, to deal with Sinto-un and Manu's crazy ass. The leaders of Juko leave the city with a majority of their forces, leaving a smaller number to man the walls. Now, I mean, you don't need too many people to stand up on the walls and knock motherfuckers down, you know. So to be precise, they leave 5,000 men on the walls, which is probably plenty for what they think they're going to need. Now, after this scene, we jump over to Chu's capital. In Tay, the capital of Chu, we have the leaders discussing what's going to happen, and they're not acting like it's a big deal. I mean, so from their perspective, it's Mobu heading out with 30,000 men. All the rest of the men are stationed on the border, and they can't really afford to weaken the border or they'll get overrun in other areas, which would be very, very bad for Qin. So they are betting on Toe coming in with reinforcements, and that's all that the Qin is waiting for. Little do they know that they are actually teamed up with Wei. While the leaders of Chu are discussing what's going on, there's a scraggly tooth-ass motherfucker that basically tells Karin to shut up when she approaches from behind and starts talking. And I don't know how you wouldn't recognize her voice. I mean, big boss ass bitch, you probably hear her talking all the time. Strong personality. How are you just gonna hear her say something behind you and be like, whoa, who the fuck was that? Shut the fuck. He grabs her tit, squeeze. She tosses this motherfucker above people's heads, like 8 feet high, into a wall. Alright? So last but not least, to wrap up the chapter, after getting Chu's perspective, we can clearly see that they do not know that Wei is allied with Qin. And that might have something to do with what's going on over at Mobu's camp, because Moki is adamantly trying to tell his father, like, we can't do this, bro. What are you thinking? We have to at least wait for Wei. They're closing in on us. The army that they just sent out from Juko is huge, and they're in a formation that could completely swallow us up. So what the fuck are we doing, Pops? Mobu has just the utmost trust in Shohei-kun. And not only does he have to trust Shohei-kun, but he also has to trust Wei. Now, apparently Wei is nowhere to be seen. and this is the day that the siege is supposed to begin. I think they're coming from a different direction, because if we're gonna pull from, you know, the kingdom memory banks, I don't know exactly where Juko is in relation to this other area that we saw earlier in the manga. But earlier in the manga, when the Coalition War had initially started, we saw Shin, who was stationed down on the Chu border. He ran into Riboku and a couple of the other, you know, huge diplomats from Chu when they were having the meetings to set up the Coalition War. And they passed through a little-known kingdom that's basically isolated and stays to themselves between the borders of all those countries. I'm sure if a huge army from Wei just wanted to pass through, they didn't want to hurt anybody, they didn't want to bother anybody, I'm sure this city would be more than willing to let them come through. There's probably something more big brain than that going on. I mean, that's just me trying to get a callback from earlier in the manga, thinking it could be important right now. It could be. Regardless whether Wei is going to show their faces or not, Mobu is leading the charge today. And we get a beautiful double spread of Mobu destroying people. And what I find most hilarious in this double spread, this poor son of a bitch with half a head and eyes popping out. That's hilarious. So Mobu is just wrecking shit, and we end off the chapter with Monu and Sentaun just watching on, saying like, oh, he's okay, but he don't know who we are. So I'm pretty excited to jump into this arc. How fast is it going to be over? Do you think Wei's just going to come flying in from behind and fucking fuck their city up? Or are they going to attack the army that they sent out and then lay siege to the city? I think laying siege to the city while their whole army is out fighting Mobu would put a lot of pressure on the army. Personally, but I'm not a strategist, man. What do you guys think of Sentaun and Monu? The other members of Juko's higher-ups, they're pretty chill. Probably not much to say about them, but these dudes are some fucking characters. They're crazy, and from the way everyone talks about them, they're some badasses. So I can't wait to see what kind of sick tactics they have. Are they underhanded like Konki? Are they instinctual? I'm sure that Monu might be both. He might be a good mixture. We got a break next week, so that's going to be fun. I hope you're not too tired of the breaks, because they're going to keep on coming. Thank you for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. If you love the Kingdom greatness, subscribe to the channel. Be awesome if you shared the video with your Kingdom comrades. You know, everyone loves some Kingdom content. We're just throwing it out there. 100-man Commander Slate D. Biggs out. Peace.